A closer look now at the Jackson trial. The eminent trial lawyer John Patrick Dolan joins us from our Los Angeles studios. Mr. Dolan, the damaging nature that they have managed to extract from the accuser, that he actually said on a previous occasion that Jackson had not molested him. How do you rate that?
Oh, that's big. There's three things that Mesereau's doing. He's nailing down lies. He's nailing down inconsistencies or situations where he can bring out other witnesses to show that the accuser is lying. And he's also showing the insincerity of this accuser because, as you noted, during the direct testimony, this kid seemed so well-behaved and such a wonderfully decent young man. And as soon as we got to cross-examination, he turned into a petulant, nasty little snot. And that's really what Mesereau wants to show the jury. That's the true accuser.
The problem with all of this is that it goes to suggest a reasonable doubt in Jackson's favor. But there is a prosecution answer that maybe the boy just didn't feel comfortable about talking these matters with his teachers.
Well, sure, that's an explanation, but if you notice, every day we have to have several explanations in order to still believe or try to believe this accuser. And by the end of this trial, it's going to be a litany of explanations just to get to the point of it's possible that Michael Jackson committed this offense. At this point, I think the prosecution has real problems.
How on earth does a trial get to this late stage and surprise witnesses like this teacher, this dean of education, come out of the woodwork? Surely somebody should have known about this sooner.
Well, I have to say that it's a little surprising, but it's not uncommon in the middle of a criminal trial to hear witnesses come forward who had not been found before. And in this case, apparently lots of interviewing had taken place with the teachers at the school, but this particular interview had not been made aware, the defense had not become aware of until right on Friday. And so over the weekend, they actually took the deposition of this headmaster.
I get the impression from what you're saying, to some extent, you believe, to use a boxing term, that the prosecution's on the ropes here.
Well, I'd say the prosecution is on the ropes, or if you want to use another alliteration, the prosecution's case is going down the drain right about now.
But you see, we've still got a long way to go. I mean, we haven't heard, and I'm assuming that the prosecution must have some hard forensic evidence besides the he said testimony that we're likely to get.
I don't think you're going to hear about too much forensics evidence, with one exception. You may have heard today, Friday, and then today they were talking about some sexual conduct on the part of the accuser that might have taken place outside the presence of Michael Jackson. That may be the source of some forensic evidence, but beyond that, there's very little. And I would say, if you don't believe this accuser and his family, you don't find Michael Jackson guilty at all.
Is there any chance that the judge in this case will get to half-time when after the prosecution has presented its case and simply say there is no case to answer? The prosecution witness are so unreliable. There is an absence of corroborative evidence. This trial must be stopped now.
Well, Richard, that's a very good question. And at the end of the prosecution's case in California, we have a motion, a routine motion that's done to dismiss the case or render a directed verdict. But the standard of proof is that in the light most favorable to the prosecution, is there any way that a jury could find a conviction? And under that standard, I would say the judge is not going to dismiss the case, but I will tell you it's going to have a big impact on whether or not this judge allows in any allegations of prior misconduct. If this case looks bad to the judge, he's not going to allow in those prior misconduct allegations, and that really will be the death knell for the prosecution's case.
John Patrick Dolan, we thank you for staying up late in California, and we invite you to, as this trial moves on, to come back again to help us understand what's taking place.